Welcome to the Explainer. So let's talk about the future. Is your e-commerce marketing actually ready for 2026? Because the game is seriously changing. See, the brands that are going to win in the next few years, they're not just going to be the ones with the biggest ad budgets. Nope. They're building something way more powerful, a fully connected growth ecosystem. Let's break down exactly what that means. So why this huge shift? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Getting new customers, the cost for that is just through the roof. And the competition? It's tougher than ever. In this new world, just being online and, throwing some money at ads, that's a recipe for failure. The only way you're going to win is with a really solid strategy. Think of it like this. The old way of doing things, just trying to drive traffic and hope for a quick sale, that's kind of like trying to fill a bucket that's full of holes. The real challenge, and honestly, the real opportunity, is to build a powerful, self-sustaining growth engine for your business. You want something that doesn't just get you customers today, but keeps them coming back for years. And to make that happen, you've got to totally shift your mindset. It means getting away from that scattered checklist approach to marketing. A Facebook ad here, a blog post there, and you need to start thinking like an architect. Your job is to design and build this complete, balanced ecosystem where every single piece works together to drive growth. This whole marketing ecosystem thing, it's really built on 3 core pillars. Each one supports a different part of your customer's journey, from the very first time they hear about you all the way to becoming a super loyal repeat buyer. So what are these 3 pillars? Well, they're the absolute foundation of any successful e-commerce business: acquisition, conversion, and retention. When you can get these 3 working together perfectly, you create a business that's not just profitable, but it's strong enough to handle whatever the market throws at it. All right, let's dive into each one. First up, let's talk about acquisition. This is all about getting people to your site, but not just anybody. We're talking about attracting the right kind of people, the ones who are actually likely to become your customers. Now, acquisition really breaks down into 2 big ideas. On one hand, you've got channels like Google Search and SEO. That's all about capturing existing demand. These are people who are already out there right now actively looking for what you sell. And then on the other hand, you've got channels like Meta and TikTok. Their job is to create new demand. Here, you're trying to stop the scroll, grab their attention, and introduce them to a product they didn't even know they needed. The brands that are absolutely crushing it, they use a smart mix of all of these. They build up their SEO as a long-term asset for steady, free traffic. They use Google Ads to snag those buyers who are ready to pull out their credit card. And then they use Meta and TikTok to create buzz, shape trends, and just pour fuel on their growth with amazing creative. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar, conversion. So you've got the traffic coming to your site, which is awesome, but now for the really important part. How do you turn those clicks into actual paying customers? And believe me, this is a massive challenge. Get this, almost 70% of all online shopping carts just get abandoned. I mean, think about that. For every 10 people who are interested enough to add your product to their cart, 7 of them will just leave without buying. That is a huge amount of lost money, a major leak in your business. So how do you fix those leaks? Well, you start by making the buying process as painless as possible. Optimize your checkout. Get rid of extra steps. Let people check out as a guest. You build trust by showing off all your great customer reviews. And you can create a little bit of urgency, with things like low stock alerts to nudge them to buy now. But here's the key thing. Getting the sale is only half the battle. If you really want to maximize your profit, you also have to focus on increasing the value of every single sale. It's not just about turning visitors into buyers. It's about getting those buyers to spend as much as possible each time they shop. This is where your average order value, or AOV, comes into play. You can give it a major boost with some proven tactics, like offering smart product bundles, suggesting relevant upsells, or setting a free shipping threshold that's just a little higher than what people usually spend. It's a great way to get them to add one more thing to their cart. And that brings us to our final, and you could argue most profitable pillar, retention. This is where you stop thinking in one-off sales and start building real relationships that turn a first-time buyer into a lifelong fan of your brand. The big metric to watch here is your customer lifetime value, or LTV. A higher LTV means that every customer you get becomes more and more profitable over time, and that takes a ton of pressure off your advertising. A business built on repeat customers is, without a doubt, a business that's built to last. And the tools you have to build this loyalty are just incredibly powerful. Email marketing, that gives you a direct line to your audience, and it almost always has one of the highest ROIs out there. Loyalty programs are fantastic for rewarding your best customers, and building a real community around your brand creates a protective barrier that your competitors just can't copy. So now that we've walked through all three pillars, let's step back and look at the big picture. Because when you get acquisition, conversion, and retention all working together, something kind of magical happens. You stop chasing those temporary sales spikes, and you start building a real, sustainable growth engine that's going to power your business for years and years. Let's just quickly recap how it all fits together. Acquisition is the top of your funnel. It gets new people in the door. Conversion is the middle. It makes sure that first sale is as profitable as it can be. And retention? That creates a repeating, profitable loop at the bottom, turning that one-time customer into a loyal fan for life. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, really crucial question to ask yourself. Is your marketing just a random list of things you do? Or are you actually building a strategic, balanced ecosystem that's designed to last? The answer to that question, well, it's going to decide the future of your e-commerce business. Thanks for watching.